Hey there. If you're anything like the average office worker, you're interrupted about once every 3 to 4 minutes during your workday. That's not a guess. That's research. And every single interruption costs you about 15 to 20 minutes of actual productive time to get back on track. So, if you think you're getting 8 hours of focused work done in an 8-hour workday, the math just doesn't add up anymore. Here's the thing nobody tells you about focus. It's not something you're born with or born without. It's not some magical trait that only geniuses have. Focus is a skill, and like any skill, it gets rusty when you don't practice it. But here's the good news. It's also something you can get really, really good at if you treat it the right way. Think about your calendar right now. You probably have it packed with meetings. Back-to-back calls, stand-up meetings, one-on-ones, status updates. You'd never dream of canceling a meeting with your boss or a client, right? But when it comes to focus time, when it comes to actually doing the deep work that moves your career forward, somehow it's the first thing to go. An urgent Slack message comes in and boom, your focus time is gone. Someone stops by your desk and somehow you've lost an hour. Your own brain starts wandering and you feel like you've failed. This needs to change. And the way it changes is by making focus time non-negotiable. Not aspirational, not something you'll do when things calm down. Because let's be honest, things are never going to calm down. Non-negotiable. Like an actual meeting on your calendar that you can't move, you can't skip, and you can't reschedule unless someone's literally on fire. The crazy part is that when you start protecting your focus time, like you protect your meetings, everything changes. Your work quality goes up, your stress goes down, you actually start finishing things instead of spinning your wheels all day. And that's not motivation talking. That's neuroscience. Your brain is literally designed to do deep, focused work. We've just trained it not to by rewarding constant distraction. So let's talk about how to actually make this happen. Because wanting to focus and actually doing it are two very different things. And I'm going to show you that this isn't about having more willpower. It's about being smarter about how you structure your time and use the tools available to you, including some surprising ways that artificial intelligence can become your focus ally. Before we talk about solutions, we need to understand why focus is so hard right now. And the answer isn't that you're lazy or undisciplined. The answer is that your entire environment is literally designed to steal your attention. Think about what's happening around you at work. Your email is pinging. Slack is lighting up with notifications. Microsoft Teams is showing you that someone is typing. Your phone is buzzing with messages. Even when you silence your phone, your brain knows it's there. That's called the mere presence effect. Just knowing your phone exists in your pocket makes you less focused. Seriously. Then there's the social pressure. Someone sends you a message and there's this unspoken expectation that you'll respond immediately. Not in an hour, not in 10 minutes, immediately. So your brain stays partially tuned to that channel all day long. You're never fully checking out of communication mode. You're always halfway in and halfway out, which means you're fully in neither place. And here's the tricky part. Your brain kind of likes this. There's a dopamine hit every time you respond to something. Every time you open Slack and see a message from someone, there's a little reward. Bing, dopamine. It's not nearly as satisfying as completing something meaningful, but it's faster and easier to get. So your brain learns to chase the quick hit instead of the long-term reward. This is why traditional willpower doesn't work. You can't just decide to focus harder. You can't just think your way to better concentration. Because the problem isn't your brain. The problem is that the forces working against your focus are stronger than your individual willpower. You're trying to compete with billions of dollars in technology specifically designed to get your attention. So what do? You change the game. You stop relying on willpower and you start relying on systems. You engineer your environment so that focus becomes the path of least resistance instead of the hardest thing you do all day. This is where protecting focus time as if it's an actual meeting comes in. When you block it on your calendar, you're not just marking time, you're making a public commitment. You're telling your colleagues, I am not available. You're telling yourself this matters, and your brain respects that. You've given it permission to actually settle down and do one thing. The second thing you need to do is make it easy to actually focus during that time. This is where automation tools can help. You can set up email filters that delay non-urgent messages so they don't show up during your focus block. You can use focus modes on your computer that automatically silence notifications and close distracting apps. Some email providers now let you schedule message delivery. So instead of getting 50 emails throughout your morning focus block, you get them all at 4 o'clock. That's one moment of distraction instead of 50. Artificial intelligence can also help here. There are AI tools that can scan your inbox and prioritize messages by urgency, so you know what actually needs your attention immediately and what can wait. Some AI scheduling assistants can look at your calendar and automatically suggest focus time blocks based on your meeting patterns and when you're most productive. They learn your rhythms. But here's what matters most. The system only works if you actually treat this time like you would treat a meeting with someone else. No exceptions. No just quickly checking email. No just answering one message. Because that one message becomes 2, becomes 10, and suddenly your focus block is gone. Alright, so you understand that focus is a skill and that you need to protect your time. Now let's talk about how you actually build this into your life without having it feel like another obligation on your already packed plate. First, start small. Don't try to protect 8 hours a day right out of the gate. That's too much. Start with one focus block. Maybe it's 90 minutes. Maybe it's 2 hours. Pick a time when you know you're naturally more alert. For a lot of people, that's early morning. For some, it's late afternoon. You know your own rhythms. Pick your time. Here's the key part. You put it on your calendar, not as a reminder, as an actual meeting. You call it focus time or deep work block or whatever sounds official enough that you take it seriously, and you protect it the same way you'd protect a meeting with a client. If someone asks you for that time, you say, I have a meeting then, because you do. You have a meeting with the work that actually matters. During that block, you're going to turn off notifications. Not minimize them, not silence them, actually turn them off. Close your email, close Slack, close whatever apps tend to pull your attention. You don't need to check them. Whatever is happening in those apps can wait 90 minutes. If it truly can't wait, that's a different conversation you need to have with your team about what actually constitutes an emergency. Here's a technique that really works. Use the rule of 3. During your focus block, you're going to work on exactly 3 things. Not 10, not a whole project. 3 tasks. This gives your brain permission to stop scanning your to-do list looking for the most important thing. You already know what's important. You've decided, now just do it. And while you're doing it, here's something that might surprise you. Playing music or white noise in the background can actually help. Not music with lyrics, that pulls your attention, but instrumental music or ambient sounds or lo-fi beats. These actually help your brain settle into a focused state. They create a psychological boundary. You put the headphones on and your brain knows it's time to work. Now, if you struggle with actually starting, there's a technique called the Pomodoro technique. You work intensely for 25 minutes. You take a 5-minute break. You do that 4 times, and then you take a longer break. During those 25 minutes, you're brutal with yourself. You're on one task only, no switching, no checking things, just one thing. Artificial intelligence can help you stay accountable here. There are AI tools that track your focus sessions and give you data about when you're most productive and what kinds of tasks take you how long. This isn't about surveillance. It's about giving your brain feedback. You start to see patterns. You realize you're actually more focused in the morning than you thought. Or you realize that after 2 hours, your brain really does need a break. You use that data to work with your own biology instead of against it. Another thing that helps is what we call the shutdown ritual. At the end of your focus block, you spend 5 minutes documenting what you did, what you're going to do next time, and what blockers came up. This is powerful for 2 reasons. 1, it closes the loop for your brain. You've completed something. 2, you're building data about your own productivity. Over time, you see what works and what doesn't. Here's something critical. You're going to fail. You're going to get interrupted. You're going to be tempted to check your messages. Your willpower is going to feel weak. That's completely normal. This is where it helps to remember that focus is a skill. Skills take practice. You wouldn't expect to be great at a video game the first time you played it. You wouldn't expect to run a marathon the first time you tried running. This is the same thing. You're building a skill. Some days will be better than others. That's fine. You just keep going. The habit part comes in around the 3rd or 4th week when your brain starts to expect this time. When you sit down at your scheduled focus time, your brain actually starts to settle faster. That's when you know it's becoming a habit. That's when it gets easier. And that's when you start to see the real benefits in your work and your stress levels. Here's what happens when you actually commit to this. And I'm not being motivational here. This is what the research shows. People who protect their focus time consistently see about a 40% increase in productivity. 40%, that's not just better, that's transformational. But that's not even the best part. The best part is how it feels. When you actually complete something meaningful. When you finish a project or solve a complex problem or create something you're proud of, it feels so much better than any Slack notification ever will. Your brain releases dopamine, sure, but it's deeper. It's more satisfying. You're activating parts of your brain that are designed for accomplishment and meaning, not just quick hits of stimulation. You stop carrying that low-level anxiety around. You know the feeling. 6 different things, partially started, unable to focus, nothing feels finished. That guilt and background stress go away when you actually complete things. And you complete things when you have time to focus. Your relationships at work actually improve too. When you're present in meetings, actually listening instead of thinking about your to-do list, people notice. Your manager and colleagues notice. You become the person who gets things done, and that's the person who gets opportunities. Now let's talk practical implementation, because doing it is different from understanding it. This week, pick your focus time. 90 minutes or 2 hours. Morning, afternoon, whenever. Write it on your calendar as an actual, non-negotiable meeting. Next week, you're going to protect it. Turn off notifications and close distracting apps. Work only on 3 things that matter. If someone interrupts you, kindly but firmly tell them you have a meeting, because you do. The first few times, your brain will rebel. You'll feel restless and have the urge to check your phone. That's withdrawal from the notification hits your brain is used to. It's temporary. It gets easier. By week 3, something shifts. You look forward to this time because you know you'll accomplish something, and that feels better than spinning your wheels all day. To help yourself succeed, use tools. Set up email filters and focus modes. If you use Slack, set an automatic deep work status. These aren't luxuries. They are the equivalent of closing your office door so you can concentrate. You already know you're capable of focused work. You know how good your work is when you have time to think. Everything around you is now designed to prevent that. So be intentional. Treat this time like a meeting you can't cancel, and you can do this. Not eventually, right now. This is your permission to make yourself a priority. Schedule time to do your actual job instead of just reacting to things all day. The meeting starts now. Make it count.